Hello and welcome to the Stool Pigeons. I'm Harrison Davenport.
And I'm Jack Jameswood.
Jack, I believe you have a story for us today.
Yes, this comes from r/relationship advice. The title is, My wife gave me her old phone. I discovered she cheated on me 9 years ago after I involved myself in a complicated love triangle with her ex. Do I move on? I met my wife in college while she was going through a difficult breakup. She got dumped by her ex of 5 years and we literally met on the day of their breakup. We started hanging out a lot and eventually started hooking up. Her ex was living with her, so she would leave and come to my place often. After about 2 months of casual dating, flirting, and hooking up, I asked her to be my girlfriend, date exclusively. She said yes. She was also still living in the same house with her ex. Stupid me involved myself with a girl fresh out of a long relationship, but whatever. Eventually, he moved out and we carried on. The rest is history, or so I thought. This past weekend, she let me take her old iPhone to rig it up for a fitness bike thing I was working on. When I charged it and powered it on, she had all road text on it. I shouldn't have, but I snooped. There were conversations on there from 9 years ago with her best friend. One of the last conversations between her and her best friend was clearly about her sleeping with her ex and feeling terrible about it, a mistake, how she hated him, etc. The conversation basically ended with her friend telling her to just pretend it never happened and move on. There was also a conversation with her ex. The last message was to him, quote, "Please don't ever contact me again," after he asked to meet up. These conversations were on the same day, about 1 month after we became exclusive. I approached my wife about it after I read them, and she started crying. She told me that while she was moving things out of her house over the course of a few days, he started apologizing for dumping her, saying he was wrong for doing so, wanting her back, and she was his true love, etc. He made a move one day, they started kissing, and then they had sex. She said she thought for a moment that she might have still had feelings for him, but she immediately regretted it and told him she had moved on and that he needed to move on as well. Apparently, that's when he blew up and started calling her names, threatening her, etc. So she kicked him out for good and never looked back. We've been together for 9 years, married for 5. We have 2 young kids. I'm obviously super upset and not entirely straight, but I'm trying to figure out what to do. She says it was the biggest mistake of her life and buried it in her memory, decided to try and forget it and move on. But she still cheated on me. Granted, it was only a few weeks into our relationship and it was with a guy she was with for 5 years, but it still hurts. Is it worth blowing up my life for that mistake? I have no reason to believe she's been unfaithful since. This is an update to the story. It's been almost 3 months since my original post. I figured I'd provide an update. It's a bit long, but a lot happened. To say things have been difficult would be an understatement. This has been, by far, the most emotionally draining experience I've ever had, but we're still together and plan on staying together for now. We've spent the last 3 months in couples therapy and individual therapy. Before we started therapy, we had several one-sided fights, essentially me just getting very angry with her and demanding the truth, details, etc. I was livid and probably could have handled it better, but hindsight is 20/20. She didn't hold anything back. She came clean about all the details. First, her original story wasn't exactly true. She actually drove over to his house one night right after he moved out because he asked her to come over and talk about their relationship, what happened, where they went wrong, etc. She went over there, obviously without me knowing, and he ended up begging for her back. He told her all the things she never heard from him while they were together. She was good enough, skinny enough, funny enough, pretty enough, and that he had made a mistake by dumping her. She said she got confused, looked at him, the 5 or 6 years they'd been together versus our 1 month, and thought she may had been throwing away all those years over a mistake. So in the moment, she saw me as a rebound, decided to get back with him and slept with him that night. She spent the night at his house and left in the morning. She said the next day she felt an overwhelming sense of guilt for cheating on me, messaged her friend about things, and ended up deciding to stay with me, as she realized her ex was not the right partner for her, regardless of the amount of time she had invested in the relationship. So that's when she said she cut him off for good, carried on with me, and never looked back. The text messages and other pieces of evidence support that. During couples therapy, a few things were made clear. First, our therapist encouraged us to look at the situation from the perspective of ourselves at the time, and not as a married couple with children. How invested were we in each other at that month? Was I asking too much of her? Was she capable of being in a new exclusive relationship 3 months out of a 6-year relationship? All things we had to go back and process. At the end of the day, while still wrong, I can empathize, with where she was, alone for the first time in almost 6 months, lost, young, acting on impulse, and searching for a sense of normalcy and comfort. Point 2. She encouraged us to start a new relationship. This has been hard as I'm a sentimental person by nature, and all of our memories are difficult to integrate the new information into. But she did say we can hold our old memories close to us, reminding me that infidelity did occur just 1 month into our relationship, and everything we built after is still valid. After teetering between divorce and staying, weighing the options, listening to our conversations, and reading the comments from my last thread, it seems the right move here is to stay and work things out. Someone had said in the last thread, if you blow your life up over this, what would you say to your kids? That they can only see you 50% of the time? Because their mother cheated on you 9 years ago, 1 month into your relationship, and you left her for that? That really hit home with me. Someone else did mention, but hey, she lied every day for 9 years. Yes, while that's true, she did lie by omission. I can empathize with the fact that the lie grew to such a great lie that it became extremely disruptive, and moving past it would have been easier, while not exactly the right thing to do. My wife opening up to me about her feelings during the infidelity has helped as well. She explained to me that she felt like she met me too early, that I was this great guy she didn't want to lose, but hadn't processed the end of her last relationship. So she admits she selfishly agreed to exclusively date me without being certain of what she really wanted. She told me that when her ex came back claiming he made a mistake by dumping her, it caused all kinds of emotions to resurface and made her question everything. Me, him, what she wanted to do. She also said that sleeping with him that night provided her with closure. She told me the sex they had was awkward and felt forced, like they were only doing it for old time's sake and a sense of normalcy. I said during counseling that felt like a lie, that she was downplaying it for my benefit, and I was sure they had intimate and amazing sex that night. My counselor countered by saying, if it was really all that great, do you think she would have told him to never contact her again the next day and immediately go back to you? I guess not. All in all, my rational mind says, stay and move on. But my emotions are still running wild. Anger, resentment, sadness, all there. I said during therapy, what hurts is knowing that there was a time where she wanted him more than me. What my counselor and my wife have said is that it was a fleeting moment of confusion, and if she really wanted him, she would have been able to do so, as he was begging for her back. So deal with it. And it's my ego that's keeping me from moving on out of that mindset. Anyway, that's the update. We're still together. I'm trying to move on, trying to integrate the new information into my story, and hoping that more time will help this to become a blip on my radar. Because really, I do love my life. I love my kids, I love my wife, and leaving her over a mistake that happened so long ago feels like it takes my life in a direction that I don't want. No offense to anyone that is. But I don't want to be a single father of two, dating in my 30s. I also couldn't imagine my life without my current wife. Thank you for reading. So Harrison, do we have any comments for this post?
Yeah, Jack. So this first comment comes from Forelark90. This poster writes, you two are continuing to invest in your relationship and family in such a healthy way. I'm really rooting for you. Terser78 writes, it's a long process, typically 2 to 5 years to feel normal again. And the thought of rebuilding a new relationship is the right approach. You have to burn the ashes of the old relationship and start fresh to have a good chance here. If you need emotional support, try another subreddit. And the final comment comes from SnooDogos9029. I think that you're making the right decision given these circumstances. And I'm usually in the cheating is unforgivable every time party. I hope you guys can get back on track, and I'm sorry you're going through all of this too. Your therapist seems very knowledgeable and empathetic to both of you.
Well, that's a pretty good piece of advice. That's probably not the kind of counseling that I would want. I'm more of a Old Testament type guy. I would propose maybe an eye for an eye. She cheated, so he gets to cheat one time. That only seems fair. I don't know why no one brought that up.
It seems like the reasonable thing, but I guess these people are trying to work through it in a healthy way and not just continue the cycle of cheating.
Yeah, but what we know from the revenge subreddit is that's very popular and very satisfying. So I think, if he wants to go a different route other than the healthy emotional reconciliation with his wife, he should just propose, hey, how about I get to cheat on you one time with an ex? That seems fair to me. I don't know. I'm not in a relationship. That might be why.
So, Jack, the point you were making, I actually was scanning, and I know we said we were done with the comments, but I actually found one from Corey 09 that received negative 52 downvotes. And he writes, I don't know, man. She not only cheated, she lied to him for 9 years. She had 9 years to come clean and didn't. I don't think I would ever be able to look at her the same way again.
Well, he probably got 59 downvotes because he was kind of a fence setter. He was not really supportive or calling for forgiveness, but he also wasn't going to the other extreme and proposing what I was, which is he gets revenge and he gets to sleep with one person. I think that probably would have got even more negative karma just from my own experiences of saying things that are unpopular on posts on Reddit. So that's probably why you don't have a lot of honest comments, because honest comments tend to get downvoted.
Well, speaking of honest comments, Sound Asleep 2278 writes, LMAO, in what world is their relationship healthy? Yeah, bro, the healthiest relationships I know are the people who cheat on their spouse, then keep it secret for years. And then he does the 100 emoji. Y'all really be clowning in the comment section, puts a clown emoji, and then writes, OP, grow a backbone.
Yeah, Harrison, was that a very popular comment? I don't imagine it was.
No, that was one of the least popular comments I saw. It looks like that person had negative 88 points.
Well, I guess the lesson here for people going on to Reddit is to pander to the subreddit audience and just say, oh, okay, I think everything's going to go well. Just repair your relationship and move on, and honesty. Anyway, Harrison, would you like to get out of here?
That sounds good, Jack. Okay, guys, thank you for listening, and please remember to subscribe.
Thank you.